Yo, what's up? It's Dan Gordon. This is The Take. Today we're going to be reviewing Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I'm here with a guy called Matt and Jesus Christ. And we got a hot new set. Woo!
Woo! Look at our set.
We're very hyped.
I wish, it's almost like someone spent an exorbitant amount of money on this set.
Almost.
Almost.
But not quite.
Almost. There's no bit of reality to that statement at all.
Well, we got about 10 seconds till it's time for theme song, so what's going on in your personal lives?
Chaos.
A lot of chaos. Yeah, there's
Theme song! Welcome back to The Take. As I said in the intro, today we're going to be reviewing Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 version.
Yes.
Matt McCormick with the synopsis. Go.
There's some alien rain and some plants grow and they take over your body and people run and hide from the bodies that are being snatched.
and they scream at you.
They scream at you when you've been caught and you show emotion.
We're gonna take a quick edit break to bring you the official synopsis of the movie. We'll be right back. And we're back from the edit break, and according to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, trademark, the quick synopsis of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is, in San Francisco, a group of people discover the human race is being replaced one by one with clones devoid of emotion.
Sounds interesting.
No souls.
Let's take a look at a clip.
Gingers.
We came here from a dying world. We drift through the universe from planet to planet, pushed on by the solar winds. We adapt, and we survive. The function of life is survival.
Open the freezer, quick.
That was a great clip. I'm going to give Matt McCormick 20 seconds to give his initial impressions on the movie.
This is 20?
Go.
20 seconds. I thought it was, although not an original take on a movie, I thought it was a very original story. I like Jeff Goldblum. I like Donald Sutherland. It was a good movie. Had lots of suspense and action, and it kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Horatiu, Zglimbea, go!
Well, I thought this movie was a very interesting movie. It's for a 70s movie. I thought the effects were great. It was awesome seeing Donald Sutherland as a young guy and Jeff Goldblum as a young guy because I have only seen them as older men.
Jeff Goldblum in a towel, no less.
Jeff Goldblum in a towel, yes, but he was awfully skinny, and I was not aroused
Sickly
at
skinny,
all about
not-
that. He
not-
was not very attractive. Oh,
If you like that, you should check out The Fly, where he gets fully nude.
I have seen The Fly, and I love The Fly. I thought
that
that
reason.
was
You like it
because Jeff
exactly
Goldblum is
for
in it.
that reason alone.
How many times have you watched 300?
A lot.
Sounds like you guys liked the movie. You weren't crazy about it. I actually really like the movie. It's interesting because it's 100% atmosphere is what I feel about this movie. There are a lot of elements at play that do a really good job of making you. The 20 second a timer doesn't apply to me. I'm the host. So that's host privilege, you know.
Are you kidding?
No.
Did Dan just
This
break
is some
his own rule?
stupid
Did
right?
he break his own rule?
I think so.
But like I said, like this film, it does a lot to build up the feeling of paranoia. Like the shot of the priest on the swing, it's like seemingly inconsequential, or the guy buffing the floor. The film has you scanning the corners of the frame, looking at any character who could potentially be an alien.
One fun fact about the movie is that the priest on the swing was actually Robert Duvall. I don't know if he's related to Shelley Duvall, our very own Shelley Duvall. Oh my God! This is just...
Ladies and gentlemen, Guns N' Roses!
I never get
Welcome,
phone
Guns N'
calls.
Roses, to the set of The Take! But yeah, he was actually the priest on the swing, and I saw that when I was watching it the first time, and I was like, oh, this guy's gonna come into play because he's an actual, like, big-time actor. And then they never brought him back.
I was really creeped out by that priest, to be honest. because it's just a shot of a priest in a park with kids. And I mean, no, in the '78, like when this movie came out, that wouldn't have been like weird. But today, like I saw the priest and I was like, where are the parents?
I feel like there's a deleted scene somewhere in there.
With the
No,
priest.
not like that.
And he's like
Stop
giving
it.
he's like giving the kids the. He snatches their bodies.
I like the point of view, like the shaky cam point of view from the swing. There's a lot of cool like camera work in this film, like realism, handheld. Like when they find Elizabeth's body in the apartment and the camera's just swinging back and forth, because up till that point it's all it's shot very standard. So that makes it all the more jolting in those moments.
See, I thought, I thought that was weird. And I understand why they did it because, it's supposed to make you feel uneasy, right? Because all of a sudden they go from Hollywood shots to some handheld cam, but I was like, oh, I don't like this. This all of a sudden made it look real amateur, and I wasn't a fan of that. But I guess it made the feeling go through, so effective. Ding.
Unprofessional, but effective. So, as you guys know, this movie is a remake of a film from 1956, and that film came out after World War II, obviously. It's the height of the Second Red Scare. It's very clearly a political allegory for, communism. You watch those little PSAs, it's like, your neighbor could be a communist.
In recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it. If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist. But there are other communists who don't show their real faces, who work more silently.
The remake is not as straightforward. It's much more broad and just tackling existentialist fears. And just like, you watch like the children's programs that are on TV today, and you just can't relate.
Are you talking about 9/11?
No.
Everything's back to 9/11 with you.
This is like the 9/11 of San Francisco.
I do see what you're saying, yes. It's a cool take on what happens to everybody in life. They just wake up one day and they're like, oh God, I can't relate to the youth of the nation. They're listening to this rock music and these swear words and, they're watching this violence and stuff. So I see what you're saying, but I don't
I would
feel
think
like
you could relate to this because you were around for the first Red Scare, weren't you?
Yeah.
We really weren't. We really weren't. Like we were around, but I mean, like if you count like just getting like the basics of potty training when the wall was coming down, then yeah.
Honestly, I was I lived in communism for a year, so as an aside. Romania, before the Iron Curtain fell, I was under,
Do you remember that year?
I don't. I was a year.
An infant?
Yeah.
Does that count then? Like
I don't know. I guess I was a baby communist. Was a baby communist.
Bringing it back to the film, setting it in San Francisco was an interesting choice because when you just came back from a big city, you were in New York last week, and it's kind of a weird sensation sometimes. You're in a city surrounded by all these people, but at the same time, you feel a little alienated, a little isolated. Because when you're in like an environment like that, it just becomes very humbling. You see how many people there are, you start to feel like Bill Nye visited our campus yesterday. He was talking about how insignificant we are in the scope of the universe. You start to feel like a speck, and the people around you just start to feel like automatons, and this movie kind of plays on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, like, I don't know. I get where you can get allegory out of it. I just saw this as just a straight up alien invasion movie. I didn't like go looking in for any meaning or anything like that. And I found it to be a solid, entertaining flick through and through.
I was just going to say, I thought that the movie escalated far too quickly. It went from 0 to 100
I love that.
real quick.
I love that as well, and I'll tell you why.
Really?
The horror
Yeah.
of this movie comes from the characters realizing that they're in a situation that's already out of their control.
It's true.
I don't know. I needed a little bit more build up. It was like 10 minutes into the movie and suddenly Elizabeth doesn't know who her husband is and we barely even know who
You
her
gotta
husband is.
you gotta get that going to where it's like, okay, well, you don't need to know who her husband is because her husband doesn't matter. He's just the catalyst to get her out with the Matthew and Jeff Goldblum. And
I
his
guess, but I
lady
feel
and-
like there was a lot of fat you could have trimmed on the movie and included some kind of exposition to build up who Jeffrey was, and like to kind of make it more creepy and eerie because, and I get it, it's a 1978 film, so
trim the fat with more fat.
no, I wanted to trim the fat of the other parts of the movie and just add more exposition to kind of build up and to make it a little bit more eerie for the viewer. 10 minutes into it, you know, she doesn't know who her husband is, and then we have the movie going for another. It was a 2-hour-long movie.
Yeah, but I feel like the movie in itself isn't about Elizabeth and her husband. It's about them trying to escape from everyone else around them.
I can see what Horatio's saying. The film does at times seem a little directionless, but that's kind of what's cool about it. Is there's no like clear goal. They're not like, this is how we defeat the aliens. It's just like they're totally clueless. They're in the dark the whole time.
And I was fine with that. I just wanted to see more like, who are you? You're not my husband. Like, you know, like other than that one woman who was freaking out in the bar, and then that one Asian guy asking our main character if he was a doctor because his wife isn't who she is, you know. I just wanted more build up, and I wanted it to be more creepy and eerie.
Can we talk about one thing, though, that kind of angered me? Okay, so it's not so much of a spoiler, he's top billing, but Leonard Nimoy is in this movie.
Oh, yes.
And he plays a very straightforward psychiatrist. He does not play Spock in this film, unfortunately.
Why do you have a book?
Yeah, why do you have a Leonard Nimoy
Leonard
book
Nimoy.
just like chilling?
Well, you know, as
He wasn't even like a main star in the movie.
Man, you're the weirdest.
well, you know, I was thinking maybe we could start a little book club on top of the movie review show, but
I'm not reading
guys aren't
I
into
Am
it.
Spock. I'll read like an actual novel.
compelling read.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
He is kind of playing
me.
Spock though, because he's playing an alien that's waging war on emotion.
No, but even then, Spock, if 3 people had come up to him and described the same thing happening, Spock would be like, okay, there's something going on here.
I think
Meanwhile, the psychiatrist is just like, oh, you're all got mass delusions and there's a mass flu of hysteria. Like, that's what they called it, a mass flu of hysteria.
He was clear an alien at that point, and I think that's what they were
No,
alluding to.
I feel like he was an alien after they left the apartment.
Maybe.
That's when they got him. Well, as soon as the whole calls from the mayor happened and then the mayor got involved, that's when he became the body snatcher.
If you insist, but I think he was a body snatcher the entire time, and that's why he was trying to pacify the crowd.
Yeah,
But we'll
he was
agree to
downplaying
disagree.
it.
What do you guys think the science is behind like the pods and then them like being able to clone the people?
Well, I was
don't
going to
know.
say, I think this film is very scientifically sound, which makes it doubly terrifying. As I said, Bill Nye visited our campus last night, and he gave a talk saying that we could all be descendants from Martians. He said some projectile could have hit Mars, and then
Yeah.
life could have landed on Earth, and we could all just be descendants.
Yeah, do you want to know something else that's crazy?
Yeah.
Every piece of matter in the universe has been made in the heart of a dying star, meaning some star had to explode billions of years ago to make the male fern and our male in the male fern and your drink, and you are made up of parts of billions of dead stars. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I want to take a commercial break.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to The Take. Now, I want to ask you guys, what did you think about like the practical effects? Like, this movie came out in 1978. This was 4 years before John Carpenter's The Thing. And I think John Carpenter drew a lot of inspiration from this movie in terms of the gore effects and also just the basic premise. I know The Thing's a remake as well, but, you know.
I actually didn't know. I was going to say when I was preparing for this, because I prepare. I don't. When I was preparing for this, I was thinking, wow, this reminds me of The Thing. Just because I thought the practical effects looked real, they looked cool, and they looked, very convincing. And I was like, this is back in 1978. This is amazing. We just watched Night of the Living Dead on our first episode, and I know that was 10 years before this, and just leaps and bounds from what that was. Everything looked pretty believable.
I want to give a massive shout out to the fetus pod. That shot of like the Sutherland clone thing, like being birthed out of this.
I threw up a little in my
He
mouth.
threw up a little?
Yeah, in my mouth.
Is it because he had the Nosferatu nose?
Something like that.
And you just kind of
but I swallowed it back. I kept it contained.
He had okay, so his hands were the best part because he didn't have full-fledged hands. He had nub hands.
Yeah.
And that was cool because he was all
right.
As he's and he's got these nub hands and he's all bald and looks kind of lizardy. Mm-hmm. Definitely looks alienish at that point. So if these aliens actually had an actual form.
Yeah. Well, you do see the sudsy looking Martian things.
Yeah, that's the opener. But I mean, that just looks like bacteria.
I thought the another cool scene, another good part, a practical effect was the man-dog banjo thing.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool. I was like,
freaky.
oh God, what is that?
Elizabeth.
I ranked that right up there with The Shining, with the guy in the bear suit in terms of creepiness.
That was really creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, I found it more comical than creepy.
Well, yeah, yes, but it was also just seeing what they created out of it and knowing where it came from because they gave that cool, they actually foreshadowed it in the movie.
I actually had I forgot there was a homeless guy with a banjo, so the banjo just seemed totally random to me, and that actually made it more creepy.
Yeah, there you go.
It was just such a weird choice.
Right, like in the forest, if you hear that in the forest. But Run!
You know you're in the right forest.
Sweet.
I gotta say, my one complaint with the movie was the terrible ADR. The whole movie's ADR'd.
I guess I never noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
I was just too entertained by the story that I never really saw that issue.
Well, I watched it on Vudu 1080p, so I was able to pick up on all
I
that.
swear he works for them. He's kept trying to get me to rent it on Vudu.
It's a great service. I just want to get it out there. Not many people know about it.
Ask me if I illegally downloaded it, and I'll tell you a lie.
This is a hard movie to find. For it being such a classic, it's not on any streaming services. I hadn't even heard of Vudu, to be honest.
Right.
The ending is awesome. I think the ending is why this movie is considered a classic. It's perfect. And the 1956 version was supposed to have a bleak ending.
You're in danger! Can't you see? They're after you! They're after all of us! Our wives, our children, everyone! They're here already! You're next! You're next! You're next! You're next!
But the studio, this was back in the studio era, Catholic Legion of Decency, all that BS. They had to tack on a 2-minute ending where they basically call the military and say, "Oh, send in the armed guard." And
So the 1978 version got the bleak ending.
yeah, and this is a very respectful remake because I don't know if you remember the guy that runs into their car. He gets chased down and killed in the streets. That's actually the actor from the original movie, and the taxi driver is the director of the original film.
Oh, wow.
So as far as remakes go, I know there's a lot of talk in Hollywood nowadays about everything's a remake, we've run out of original ideas, but I think this is a remake done right.
Yeah, it was very cool. I was not expecting the ending. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, well, he made it, and he's now just pretending because he doesn't want to be snatched. And I thought that one girl was gone. I forget her name, but Jeff Goldblum's Honey. I don't know why I said Honey. But his girlfriend, I thought she was snatched, and when he started screaming her at the end, I was like, oh, no.
And then cutting all the audio, that's a great choice too.
Yeah.
For the credits, just silence. Creepy.
That woman, as a side note, that woman has a very good hysterical, shrieking look on her face. She's very good at making that face. I think I've seen her.
I read online that she wasn't aware that Sutherland's character was going to be an alien, so her reaction was genuine.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that same woman in another creature feature, she was actually in Alien. That's where I remember her from, where the alien bursts out of the guy's chest at first. The director didn't tell them that was going to happen, and so when they got all those reactions and they got her reaction, another scene where she's shrieking and that was another surprise. So that's what we got.
When they were making the Star
like that,
Wars, Mark Hamill was the only one other than George Lucas that knew that Vader was Luke's father until James Earl Jones had to record it, and then obviously when it came out.
Yeah, you see Hollywood nowadays. Hollywood, take a note. All right.
When Spielberg was making Close Encounters,
your actors.
Yeah, he used a clown to get the childish wonder from the actor.
Well, deep. In Steven Spielberg's Jaws, he used a shark.
In Jurassic Park, they used a robot T-Rex.
In AI, they used robots.
Yeah.
In Star Wars Episode 1, they used CG.
Right.
They also did that for 2 and 3.
Rip in peace.
All right, well. What are you guys going to give this out of 5 whatevers?
I'm gonna give it 3.5 man dogs.
He took the man dog. Everyone
He
wanted
did.
to use the man
Everyone
dog.
wanted to use the man dog. Well,
Actually, no, I change it back. I'm gonna give it 3.5 Donald Sutherland fetus pods with him like out of the pod.
I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Donald Sutherland's mustache. Because that was a good mustache. Good job, Donald.
And I myself will give it 4 out of 5 Jeff Goldblum's in a towel.
This is a very homoerotic
I'm taking off a star
show.
because of the ADR. But other than that, I really like this. That was a great discussion on the 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
It was so-so.
We're going to throw out a commercial, but when we come back, we're cracking the mail for an open. Commercial!
Okay, don't cut.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
We're back! Take it, Matt!
How many do we got, Dan?
We got 3 mail fern envelopes. We got one for Horatio here. We got one for me.
This is not how you spell my name, viewers. Figure it out.
And one for you.
Oh, thanks, man. This is how you spell my name.
Pretty sure you could have just used your fingers and ripped that. You didn't have to. Okay, just Jesus.
Everyone at this school is so uncomfortable with the simple knife.
I don't
legal
think
carry.
I don't think they're uncomfortable about the knife. They're uncomfortable about
Uncomfortable
you.
about
and the
me?
knife. Yeah.
All right, so this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
Our viewer Sean Edwards would like to know: is Jeff Goldblum not a
Whose question was that?
our viewer Sean Edwards?
Sean, don't write in anymore.
No, he's
Jeff
more,
Goldblum.
He's
Jeff
more than
Goldblum
welcome
is
to write
not
in.
okay? Jeff Goldblum is a saint. He is The Fly. He is Ian Malcolm. Come on, he was in Independence Day.
Ian Malcolm is definitely a So I mean, like, if you're gonna,
He's my favorite Jurassic Park character.
I mean, he's still still a
Well,
in the car when he's talking
He's the
with the
only
girl.
one
He's like,
speaking
oh well,
truth.
with chaos, like with the variations in your hand, and you can the water.
so
will go
he's
in
got game.
He doesn't
okay?
have game. He's
got
he's
game.
in that movie.
Yeah, just beyond his film career, Jeff Goldblum's always good in my book because of his work with Tim and Eric.
Yeah, like
Chef Goldblum, come on.
Chet Gold. Yeah, I liked him in this movie. He wasn't because I feel like he self-sacrificed himself to save everybody else. I'm gonna go with not this time.
Ever.
Ever.
Not ever.
Sometimes people can be.
If we can say on OUTV.
Name one of your favorite lines of dialogue in a film. That one comes from Jonathan Jackson.
One of my favorite movies ever is Jaws, the classic, the first summer blockbuster. And my favorite dialogue or line from that movie is, "You're gonna need a bigger boat."
I'm gonna go with Usual Suspects. Give me the keys, you mother.
I'm gonna go with Joe Dirt, and when he's going through all the fireworks at the fireworks stand. I don't know why. I just love it so much. How are you gonna sit here on a fireworks stand?
We should review it.
And my favorite line from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, is, "Are we still doing that?"
Okay.
My turn?
Your turn.
My turn.
And we'll go back around.
Horatio's turn.
You know, one of these days we're gonna sneak into your house and cut your hair while you're sleeping.
I'm going to choose to ignore that. What current trends in movies would you like to see go away over the next few years? John Fonz.
I'm gonna say breaking the fourth wall, because the last time I saw it done creatively was Wolf of Wall Street, and I don't know.
Don't let the 17-year-olds hear that.
Yeah, they go crazy. It's so subversive. Yeah.
I still think Ferris Bueller did it better.
Yeah. I think we should just put a moratorium on it. We can do it again in like 100 years.
I am sick and tired of 3D. Over it. It doesn't work for half the movies. Like, and you're paying $3, $4 extra. Like, why? Why? So things can kind of pop out at you and your picture's darker. You're paying to have a lower quality image. You're paying a premium to have a lower quality image.
It's become a lot less prevalent. It used to be a problem where like that was the only option at certain times. I'd go to the movies and...
What I would like to see go away is remakes for the fact of remakes. I'm just so sick of reboots and remakes that Hollywood keeps going over the same idea over and over, such as the newest one, Ghostbusters. I don't know why they're remaking Ghostbusters just with an all-female cast. Remakes nowadays are mostly cash grabs, and I'm very sick of seeing things rebooted just for the fact of cash grabs.
Which brings us to Sean Edwards' second question.
Sean,
if you could remake any film, what would it be?
None, Sean. What did we just get done talking about? No, honestly, I would, and I've had this dream for a long time to see Jaws remade. I know, blasphemy. It's my favorite film, but I've seen like other giant shark movies, like Deep Blue Sea. I thought that was great. People think it's drivel, whatever. But
okay, what do you do differently for a better Jaws?
I would just like to see, I think nowadays in 2016, you have the chance to make the movie of a lifetime. You have the computer-generated, the animation that you could use to make it look great, if you do it properly.
100% disagree. Sharks are the new zombies. They're overplayed. The Shark Week has ruined sharks. Sharktopus, it's become a joke.
No, yeah, it has become a joke, and that's the problem. But if they remade Jaws and they remade it really well, and not made a joke out of it, I think it could do real well. I mean, you can't replace Roy Scheider, you can't replace any of the original casts, but...
You also can't replace Spielberg in his prime.
Absolutely. So it's something that I would love to see just as the little, boy in me who's loved Jaws and Great White Sharks since he was a wee lad. That's what I would like to see.
This is going to be an unpopular answer, but I think I would remake RoboCop.
Again,
I was really disappointed with the remake.
So
I didn't even see it.
So you want to remake the remake?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I love Paul Verhoeven's version, but there was some drama that he didn't get at that could be explored there. But I love the gore in that movie, the practical effects. It's still a classic, but I feel like that idea hasn't been fully mined.
Nice.
Citizen Kane, because it. Do a beat-for-beat remake of Superbad and just call it Citizen Kane.
Superbad?
Yeah, the Jonah Hill, Michael Cera comedy. Just beat for beat and just replace the characters' names and give them a job at like a newspaper and just Citizen Kane. Give them a dog. I don't know.
They should remake Citizen Kane with WWE's Kane.
Well, that about takes us to the end of the show. This has been The Take for Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Next month, we're going to be reviewing Pan's Labyrinth. We'll see you next time.